Welcome to the Joe Pritz Field here in Billings, Montana for today's matchup between the Post 22 Hardhats and the Missoula Mavericks. And we're ready to go here for the Post 22 lineup. We'll go from 1 to 9. Starting at third base, Aiden Roberts, followed by center fielder Lars Kiefer. Wyatt Reeder playing for first base. Number 27, Kane McLeod at left field. The designated hitter tonight for the Hardhats will be Jace Morgan. Right field, Carter Johnson. And playing catcher today, batting 7th, Josh Elder. Batting 8th will be the second baseman, Dawson Inhofer. And at shortstop will be Blaine Hunt. Starting pitcher for the Post 22 Hardhats today will be Rowan Fredrickson here in Game 1 of the doubleheader. As manager Kelvin Torve, as they discuss here right in front of us, right before we will get things started. So the Post 22 Hardhats will be the home team, so they will pitch first. And we look at Rowan Fredrickson and his stats for this season. As Fredrickson has pitched 10.2 innings with a 2 wins, 0 loss record. Fredrickson has thrown 17 strikeouts. He has walked 6 batters, and he has an earned runs average of a .656 and with a whip of a .939. As that's what Rowan Fredrickson. He also has 1 save. You see that save against Gillette on Wednesday night. So we're ready to go. Managers split off, and the Hardhats to come on the field. As they will get ready here. And they'll say 22 and then burst off. And there they are. So Rowan Fredrickson gets the warm-up pitches, and we'll be right back.
Setting the defense for Rapid City Post 22, playing third base, wearing number 10, Aiden Roberts. Center fielder, number 19, Lars Kiefer. First baseman, number 18, Wyatt Reeder. Left fielder, number 27, Cam McLeod. The DH today, number 22, Jace Morgan. Right fielder, wearing number 23, Carter Johnson. Catcher, number 21, Josh Elder. Second baseman, number 12, Dawson Inhofer. Shortstop, number 11, Blaine Hunt. And pitching today, number 24, Rowan Fredrickson.
All right, so Rowan Fredrickson will finish up here for his final warm-up pitches.
Leading off for the Missoula Mavericks, second baseman, number 2, Carter Taylor.
So leading off for the Missoula Mavericks will be number 2, Carter Taylor, the second baseman. And the Hardhats on an undefeated season. They look to improve that here on a 4-game weekend, a doubleheader today and a doubleheader tomorrow. And we're ready to go. So Josh Elder behind the home plate for the Post 22 Hardhats today with Rowan Fredrickson starting pitching. And the defense was just announced over the PA. So first pitch, we're ready to go. And now Fredrickson waits the call here from Elder. Here comes the first pitch. This one, a swing, got a foul tip. They'll start off with an 0-1 count. On deck for the Mavericks will be the catcher, number 5, Caden Tennis. And now Fredrickson with the pitch. This one is going to be for ball. So it just evens the count at 1-1. So following a 1-1 count, Fredrickson with the pitch. This one goes up high. That'll be for ball 2. That one just up high right. 2 balls and a strike for Fredrickson. Here's the pitch. That one got to clip him, so that's going to be a hit by pitch. So that's going to put a runner at first.
Catcher number 5
for
Tennis.
Missoula. So Taylor hit by pitch, and now this will bring up the catcher Caden Tennis, number 5. So the runner at first for the Mavericks. And Fredrickson, only 3 pitches in. It was a hit by pitch, so a signal by bunt, throw to first, trying to pick off, and he goes in safe. Tennis, who was showing that he was going to bunt, so the shift from third baseman Aiden Roberts, who came in closer, and now he's going to do it again. Roberts sneaking on in. Here's the pitch, bunt straight to Roberts, but that's going to foul out. So that moves the runner to second with an 0-1 count. So Tennis steps back in the box with a 0-1 count after the bunt that went foul. And he's going to signal it again. Roberts creeps in, throw to first. Fredrickson, as Taylor gets there in time to stay safe. And Wyatt Reeder playing first base today. And a timeout called here from the umpire with Fredrickson, as they're just going to throw the ball out, get a new one. And that's second for the Hardhats in Hofer. And then at short, Blaine Hunt. And at third, Aiden Roberts. That's what the infield for the Hardhats will look like. So with Tennis showing that bunt again. Here it comes. This one's going to go to first base. Fredrickson calls for it. The throw to first, so that's going to be out for 1. So that's 1 down following the ground.
Number 10, shortstop, Coulter Nicolarsson.
So with 1 down now, Coulter Nicolarsson, the shortstop, hitting third in the lineup for the Mavericks. So with the runner on second for the Mavericks, following that bunt that Fredrickson threw to Reeder at first to get the first out of the game and of the 4-game series. Fredrickson with the pitch. That one is going to be in for ball 1. So they start off with a 1-0 count. And it was said to be the trend the other night, on Wednesday night, every count, most of the counts started with a 2-0, and then towards the end of the game, they started with an 0-2 count. Now this was going to be foul tip. So that's going to put the count to 1-1. Nicolarsson foul tips it. On deck for the Missoula Mavericks, number 9, Owen Felton, the third baseman. And Fredrickson on the bump, gives the nod to Elder, who's behind home plate. Looks back at second, where Taylor leads off. Here's the pitch. That one swings and misses. So that's going to be 1-2 count for Nicolarsson. Still runner at second, following the hit by pitch. And now looks back at second. Hunt backs off second. Here comes the pitch. That one up high for ball 2. So 2-2, 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 down. At the top of the first inning here of the 4-game series, the doubleheader today. And Rowan Fredrickson gets the call. Here's the pitch, and that one pops up, gets away from Elder, so that's going to go 3-2 count. So we're at full count.
Good job, Coulter.
As Elder will get a new ball from the umpire. And now Fredrickson on the mound as he waits the call from Elder for what he wants. Looks back at second, back and forth. Here's the pitch, and that one up high for ball 3. So now we're at full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 down. The Mavericks hitting first. Here's the pitch for Fredrickson. That one fouls off. That one goes out of the playing field. So he stays alive on the full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 down still. Shortstop Nicolarsson. Fredrickson winds and deals. The pitch coming. Fouls off again. Here. Thought hit by pitch. So he fouls off. And they'll keep on with this at bat. So count still remains 3 balls, 2 strikes for the Hardhats pitching with Rowan Fredrickson. Hunt backs off second again. Here comes the pitch, and that one walks him. So that's going to put another runner at base. So runners at first and second.
Number 9, third baseman Owen Felton.
And now Felton, who steps in the box here for the Mavericks. So with 1 out to kick off this first inning, it's Taylor, their second baseman, who leads off of second, as he got on base by hit by pitch, and then Coulter Nicolarsson, who just got walked. So it's still with 1 down. Here comes the first of this at-bat. That one's going to go in for strike 1. So starts this at-bat in the strike column. And Fredrickson again waits for Elder to get the call. So with runners at first and second for Missoula, here's the pitch. That one goes outside. Elder gets behind it just in time. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And pitching-wise for the team, they've only allowed 36 hits entering here in this series and today's game. So the Hardhats, they've done really well pitching. Fredrickson, that one goes up high for ball 2. So 2 balls and a strike of the at-bat for Felton, the third baseman for the Mavericks. And he takes right back in the box. Runners at first and second, throw to first, and he gets him. Raider got him on the pickoff attempt, so that's going to get the second out. Nicolarsson off the successful pickoff from Fredrickson, the connection to Reeder at first base. So that still leaves a runner at second for the Mavericks, but still with a 2-ball, 1 strike count. Now Fredrickson looks back at second. Here's the pitch, swings it. That one's going to go straight to in-hole for the second baseman. A throw to first, and that's going to do it for the first inning. So the ground to second base, and that's going to do it for the top of the first inning. Still a 0-0 score, and leading off for the Hardhats will be Aiden Roberts, the third baseman. We'll take a short second, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back here to start the bottom of the first inning. Leading off for the Hardhats will be Aiden Roberts. And Roberts on the season, as he is entering this game in the series with a .389 batting average. He has a .542 on-base percentage. And Roberts, who is slugging at a .611. So the hitting stats look good, as Roberts, who ranks 3rd on the team in batting average. And when Roberts gets on base, he has 5 stolen bases for the third baseman. And hitting, the team having a .321 batting average, that's the team average. And they have a .449 on-base percentage, then following with a average of a .43 for slugging. So starting on the mound for the Missoula Mavericks will be number 17, Andrew Richardson. So that's the starting pitcher for the Mavericks. And now Roberts, as he'll step into the box here, and the Hardhats will get this started here in the bottom of the first inning.
Number 10, playing third base, Aiden Roberts.
So Richardson will get his first pitch in, with Roberts leading off for the Hardhats here in this 4-game series. Here's the first pitch. That one will go down low for ball 1. So Roberts patiently waits for one in the zone, starts it off with a 1-0 count. Now Richardson gives this pitch. That one goes inside for ball 2. So again, we went back to the earlier conversation. The first at-bat of the game started with a 2-0 count. The first at-bat for the Hardhats will also start on the 2-0 count. Richardson with the pitch. This one will go in for strike 1. So 2 balls and a strike to start off for Roberts. No runners on base. Bottom of the first inning. Here's the pitch. Roberts thought about it, but he's going to hold off for ball 3. So 3 balls and a strike for Aiden Roberts. And Roberts waiting for the pitch from Richardson. Here it comes. He's going to swing this one. This is going to go into center field. He's under. This one's going back. Roberts. And that's going all the way back to the wall. Rounding second to third. He could go home. Roberts rounding third. He's going to go in for the home run. He's in. Safe. Aiden Roberts, a leadoff inside the park home run. And the Hardhats go 1-0 early in the game and inside the park home run.
Number 19 playing
What a way to start it for Aiden Roberts. An inside the park home run to lead off. No better way. So 1-0 Hardhats. And now Lars Kiefer, the center fielder, up in a bat. And this one's going to go for ball 1. As Kiefer entering today's game at a .269 batting average. And that pitch will go in for a strike. So 1-1 with the count. Hard to follow off an inside the park home run first. Kiefer. That one's going to go down in for a strike. So 1-2 count with 0 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Following the inside the park home run from Aiden Roberts. That one's going to go down in the dirt. That'll be for ball 2. So Roberts goes from a 1-1 count to a 2-2 count now. With Richardson on the mound. And the dugout letting Kiefer hear it. That swing and the third ball drop. So that will be a strikeout from Kiefer. So that's going to do the 1 out. First out here in the bottom of the first. And this will lead Wyatt Reeder,
number 18,
the first baseman.
Reeder.
And Reeder, who leads the team in batting average. Reeder, who hits at a even 5 flats. So he's going to take the first one here on a strike. So 0-1 count with 1 out. And a 1-0 lead from Roberts inside the park home run. Richardson off the bunt from Reeder, as that's going to go foul. So with an 0-2 count now for Reeder. And he comes back from the first base line to pick up the bat. And we get a quick time here from tennis, as he'll take a second here with Andrew Richardson, the starting pitcher. And Reeder at a 5 even batting average, on-base percentage of a .692, and he's slugging at a .808. Still looking for his first double of the year. So 0 balls, 2 strikes for Wyatt Reeder, hitting third in the lineup for the Hardhats. Here's the pitch from Richardson, and that one's going to be for ball 1. So Reeder gets his first ball of the count, who started the count at an 0-2. Richardson with the pitch. That one goes right by the shins for ball 2. So the count evens itself back up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. And now Richardson to pitch to Reeder in a swing. Foul tip, but a strikeout for Reeder. So with 2 outs at the bottom of the first, now we'll lead up the left fielder, Kane McLeod.
27, McLeod.
And now McLeod. First pitch from Richardson. And that will be in for ball 1. Looking at McLeod, second on the team in batting average, hitting at a .417. McLeod, who has hit a home run so far this season. And that one's going to be for strike one, as McLeod, who hit it in the home opening weekend against Sheridan back at Rapid City. So with 1 ball, 1 strike here for McLeod, that one goes outside for ball 2. McLeod gets up early in the balls to strike ratio. Richardson on the mound for Missoula. Here's the pitch. That one goes outside for ball 3. So 3 balls and a strike for McLeod. We've seen 1 walk, and that was from Coulter Larson from Missoula. And here's the pitch. That one, McLeod got a piece of it, but it's going to foul off. So that puts the count to full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 lead following the leadoff inside the park home run from Aiden Roberts. And McLeod steps back in the box on a 3-2 count with 2 down. The pitch comes, and this was going to be a chopper right to short, and the throw to first is in time. Got the splits. So 1-0 Hardhats lead after the first inning. Following the inside the park home run from Aiden Roberts. And now leading off for the Missoula Mavericks will be the first baseman, Easton Reimers, hitting 5th in their lineup. And then we saw the hit by pitch by Carter Taylor as he led off. Got a piece off the elbow, and then Caden Tennis hitting second. He grounded after the bunt right to Frederickson and the throw to Reeder to get the first out of this game. And then Coulter Larson, who got walked. And then Owen Felton, who grounded to second. And then they had a successful pickoff attempt from Nico Larson. And that's how that first inning went for the Hardhats pitching-wise. Rowan Frederickson, starting pitcher here in Game 1 of the doubleheader in this 4-game series. The doubleheader today and the doubleheader tomorrow. As the final few warm-up pitches here, as Elder gets that throw behind home plate. So Reimers, the first baseman, steps in the box. He made that split catch to end the first inning.
Easton Reimers.
Reimers, the final preparations to go back in the box to lead off here in the second inning. And we're ready to go. So Frederickson gets the call from Elder behind home plate. First pitch of the second inning, that one goes up high for ball 1. Rowan Frederickson went through his stats earlier. He got that save on Wednesday night against Gillette back at the Fitz, and now here comes the throw. That one up high, ball 2. So 2-0 count early for Reimers for the Missoula Mavericks. So 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the throw from Frederickson. That one's going to go up high for ball 3. So an early 3-0 count for Reimers. Leading off here in the second inning. Frederickson to pitch, and that will walk Reimers. So that's the second walk Frederickson has allowed. So that'll be a runner at first. And Elder,
number 7, Rylan Davis,
will go up here to the mound. So that will now put up the left fielder, Rylan Davis, hitting 6th in the lineup for the Mavericks. So Elder comes back to home plate. So following that walk from Reimers, this will lead Davis, the left fielder, into the box. Now Frederickson, who looked quickly over at first, they had that successful pickoff attempt earlier in the first inning. Frederickson to pitch, that one's going to go up. Reeder's going to call for it, but that one's going to go out. So an 0-1 count following that foul ball. 0 balls and a strike for Davis, with Reimers, who leads off of first. Frederickson takes his last look over at first. Picks off at first, in safe. So Reimers, who just got back in time, they had that successful pickoff attempt back in the first inning. Frederickson on the 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. That one's for ball one. So 1-1 count. In the top of the second inning. Frederickson throws to first. Safe. Another pickoff attempt. Reimers goes in safe for the second time. Now Frederickson, one final look again. Looking up and down. Here's the pitch. That one goes in. That's going to be for strike two. So 1-2 count for Frederickson. With Reimers at first base. With a 1-2 count, Frederickson. Here's the pitch. That one swings. This one's going to go to Blaine Hunt. There's the one for the double play. The throw to Reeder down to the dirt, but he's in safe. So that's going to put one down.
Right fielder number 18, Remington Howard,
who gets on base for Missoula. And then the double play attempt from Hunt. And then Inhofer, the throw to Reeder, who just went down in the dirt, got away from Reeder, and beat out. That was Davis. So this will lead up Remington Howard, the right fielder for the Mavericks. So here's the first one, that one up high. Elder gets that one under control. So starts this one as they look it back to see if they want to throw that to first with Davis. So 1 ball, 0 strikes with 1 out here, top of the second inning. The 1-0 lead for the Hardhats. Rowan Frederickson with the pitch. That one, Elder gets in front of that one, so to a 2-0 count we go. 2 balls, 0 strikes. Back in the box steps is Howard, the right fielder. Now Frederickson, throw to first, and in safe on the pickoff attempt to first. Still with a 2-0 count. He looks over the shoulder again at first. Another one, and in safe. So back-to-back pickoff attempts for Frederickson. And both times Davis goes in safe. Frederickson to pitch that one up high, ball 3. 3-0 count with 1 out. Top of the second inning. Howard steps back in the box for the Mavericks. Frederickson with the pitch, this one, so he'll walk him. So it's a third walk allowed for Frederickson and a time called. Coach Nick Kindred will come out and have a discussion. So the runners at first and second, still with 1 down. As this will lead Bryce Ostrom, the center fielder for the Mavericks, in. So that's going to do it for that 1 mound visit. Frederickson has allowed 3 walks, 1 hit by pitch, which was the leadoff hitter in Taylor. So with Davis, who leads off second, and Howard off of first. Still with 1 out. Here comes the first one. That one goes up high for ball 1. Try to see if any of those runners were going to take off. So 1 ball, 0 strikes. Frederickson looks back at second. Hunt backs off. Here's the pitch. That one's Gonna go for ball 2. So again, on an early 2-0 count. Now Frederickson signaling to Elder for another call. And he gets the one he wants. Frederickson the pitch. That one got a clip. So a hit by pitch. So that will put the bases loaded. And that one got a clip of Elder's wrist.
Stellan Ridley.
So Stellan Ridley, the DH, with bases loaded, is now up. Still a 1-0 lead for the Hardhats. The inside the park home run from Jace Morgan, or excuse me, Aiden Roberts. Apologize for that. Thinking of the DH. The DH today for the Hardhats is Jace Morgan. So Frederickson the first one. This one's going to go inside for ball 1. So 1-0 count with bases loaded with 1 out. Frederickson. Same signal, trying to change something up. Frederickson on the 1-0 count. Here's the pitch, swings and misses for the first strike of the count. So that's going to go to 1-1. One ball, one strike for Frederickson on the count here for Stellan Ridley. With bases loaded. Frederickson the pitch. That one's going to go in for strike 2. So Frederickson, 2 back-to-back strikes with Ridley with 1 down. Frederickson looks back at third. Here's the pitch. Swings and misses for the strikeout. So that puts it at 2 outs. And that's going to be the first strikeout for
Carter Taylor.
Mr. Rowan Frederickson. As that's Frederickson's 18th strikeout of the season. So now we're back to the top of the order, and Carter Taylor, who was hit by pitch, his first at-bat. Frederickson with the pitch. This one goes out, in for strike. So starts off on a strike. Frederickson finding that heat. He's keeping it. Still with bases loaded with 2 outs, following the strikeout to Ridley, the DH. 0-1 count. Frederickson takes a second off the mound. He will step right back on. So another timeout here from the batter. So Taylor steps back in for the Mavericks. And all runners extending off their bases. Frederickson will look over to second and third. Here's the pitch. And that one's going to go for ball 1. So ball and a strike to Taylor, the second baseman, who's the top of the order for the Mavericks. 1 ball, 1 strike. Frederickson with the pitch. That one goes up high for ball 2. So 2-1 count. Taylor takes a second. Re-enters. Now Frederickson. 2 balls and a strike. Started his count at 0-1. Here's the pitch. That one's going to go for ball 3. So 3 balls and a strike. This at-bat with bases loaded with 2 outs. Now Frederickson. Elder encouraging him behind the plate. And Frederickson pitches. This one will strike 2. Or they're going to say walk. So that's going to... So some confusion. So that's going to put the score to 1-1 from the walk with bases loaded for Taylor. So now Caden Tennis, who grounded out, is his first at-bat. So it's still 2 outs. New batter, bases remain loaded. Frederickson the pitch. That one goes for ball one. So the 1-0 count, and that confusion on that last one was umpires who looked like he signaled for a strike, but then he went for the batter to walk to first. So Frederickson to pitch. This one's going to foul off. So it puts the count to 1-1. And it's Tennis, the catcher. So the count to 1-1, base is still loaded, 2 outs, top of the second inning. So the Mavericks, just that last at-bat, managed to tie this game back at 1-1. And the curve, that one in for strike 2. So 1-2 count, potentially one pitch away to put away this top of the second inning for Frederickson. Takes a second to look at third. Looks back at home plate. Here's the pitch. Swings and misses for the strikeout. So that's the second strikeout for Frederickson. And that's going to do it here for the top of the second inning. So they had bases loaded, and they walked, and then that made it to a 1-1 game. So leading off for the Hardhats will be the designated hitter, Jace Morgan. And leading off for the Hardhats was Aiden Roberts, and he hit an inside the park home run to make this game early 1-0 lead. And then back-to-back strikeouts from Kiefer and Reeder, and then the ground to shortstop from K. McLeod, left fielder. So it's going to be Morgan. Then up next on deck will be right fielder Carter Johnson, and then after Johnson it'll be the catcher Josh Elder. So still on the mound for the Mavericks is Andrew Richardson. Gander threw 2 strikeouts in that first inning in this 1-1 game. So we go to the bottom of the second inning. So Richardson getting in his warm-up throws. Finishing up there. So Jace Morgan on the season, hitting batting average at a 2.259 with a on-base percentage of a .344, and then slugging at a .333. Jace Morgan also a guy who kind of switches back and forth between designated hitter and outfield. Morgan with 9 RBIs too. That puts him tied in the team high with Inhofer, who also has 9. So now Morgan is ready to go here to start the bottom of the second inning in a 1-1 game. First game of the doubleheader. So Richardson shrugs off for his first pitch here of the second inning. With the DH, Jace Morgan. Here's the first pitch. It comes. Morgan swings and misses for strike 1. So 0-1 to kick off the first pitch here at the bottom of the second for Morgan. Richardson with the pitch. That one goes in down low. That'll be for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Leading off of the second inning for Morgan. Richardson the pitch again. That one goes inside, gets away from Tennis, so that's going to be for ball 2. So to a 2-1 count for Morgan. And Richardson with the pitch. It comes. Morgan's going to hit this one into right field. He's going back. He's under it. Morgan rounds first. That's going to be caught. So the fly to right field. And that's going to be the first out here of the second inning. And now Carter Johnson playing right field for the Hardhats. And Johnson hitting 150 average with a .320 on-base percentage and also slugging at 150. Johnson with 5 stolen bases this season. So with 1 down, here comes the first one. Johnson hits this one right to third, and the throw to first is there. So 2 down already.
The catcher,
following the
number
ground to
21,
third
Josh
from
Elder.
Johnson. So Elder, the catcher. And now we're 7th of the batting order. So with an 2 down in the bottom of the second. Richardson, the first one. Elder, this one escapes away. That'll be for ball 1. So with a 1-0 count with 2 down, Richardson gets the call from Tennis behind the plate for the Mavericks. Here comes the pitch. That one again down low for ball 2. So 2-0 count for Elder. Elder in Tuesday's matchup between the Pulse 320 Stars, he hit a home run. So the 2 home runs this season, that one's going to be in for strike 1. So Elder lets that one be. So 2-1 count for the catcher for the Hardhats. And now Richardson with 2 down. Here in the bottom of the second, here's the pitch. That one, again, escapes away, so that's going to be for a 3-1 count. And the new ball for Richardson. Umpire gathers some new balls. And we're ready, we're set, we're good. So Elder steps in with a 3-ball, 1 strike with 2 outs. Richardson. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be in for strike 2. So full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes for Josh Elder with 2 outs. And now Richardson delivers the pitch. That one will walk. Josh Elder.
Second baseman, number 12, Dawson Inhofer.
So that's the 44th time a hard hat batter has been walked this season. And now the second baseman, Dawson Inhofer, up to bat. Here's the first one of this at bat. That one escapes away. Elder's going to take off. He's going to go to second. So with a 1-0 count, Elder advances off the wild pitch. Dawson Inhofer, I mentioned him earlier, also in a team tie in RBIs with Jace Morgan at 9. And Inhofer hitting a .353 average. And here's the pitch from Richardson. This one's going to hit. This one's going to drop into left field. That's going to be a single. And rounding third is Elder, the throw into home and safe. That's going to be an RBI double for Dawson Inhofer. And that's now the 10th RBI of the year. For Inhofer. So now with a runner at second, and now Hardhats make it a 2-1 game.
11, Blaine Hunt.
And now the shortstop, Blaine Hunt. Now we're in the bottom of the batting order at number 9. Richardson. This one's Hunt. This one's going to go foul. So starts the count 0-1. Hunt, the freshman from Rapid City Stevens. Back in the box with Inhofer at second base, following the RBI double to bring in Josh Elder to make it a 2-1 game. And now that one down in the dirt. That one for first ball to count. So 1-1 count for Hunt. Hunt takes a second, back in the box. Still with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Richardson the pitch. Hunt gets another piece of that. That's going to foul off. So we go to a 1-2 count now. Ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning. And now Hunt back in. Richardson takes a look back at second where Inhofer is inching his way towards third. Here's the pitch. Hunt. This one's going to go straight up here to second base. Shortstop's under it, and that's going to be caught. So the RBI double from Dawson Inhofer, which brought in Josh Elder to make it a 2-1 score here after the second inning. We'll take a quick second. We'll be right back. right, we're ready to go here for the third inning. Leading off for the Mavericks will be Colter Nicolarsson as he walked his first at-bat. The Hardhats having the 2-1 lead after that second inning. So 2 hits for the Hardhats with 2 runs on the board as Rowan Fredrickson remains on the mound for the Hardhats here in this third inning. The first pitch here to kick off this third inning. Fredrickson the pitch, that one up high for ball 1.
Hitter is shortstop Colter Nicolarsson.
So 1-0 count to the leadoff hitter in Nicolarsson. Here's the pitch, that one also up high for ball 2. So up to a 2-0 count early. Fredrickson with the pitch, this one's going to foul off. And that's going to be for the first strike, so the foul from Nicolarsson to put the count to 2-1. With 0 outs here leading off in this top of the third inning. Fredrickson the pitch, that one's in for strike 2. So 2-2 now for Fredrickson following the foul and then the strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fredrickson with the pitch, and that one's going to be for ball 3. So another full count. Nicolarsson, who has walked his first at-bat, now with a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Fredrickson the pitch, swings. This one's going to go to Roberts. That one pops up out of the hand, so that's going to be a base hit. Reach on air. So now
Third baseman number 9, Owen Felton.
So Owen Felton, he grounded to second. His first at-bats with a runner at first following the base hit for Nicolarsson. And Fredrickson, who looks back over. Here's the first. And swings. This one's going to go to Hunt, the shortstop. The double play. There's one. The throw to Inhofer to Reeder. That's going to be a double play. Clears the bases. And a double play.
First baseman number 13, Easton Reimers.
So now Reimers back in the box. He also walked his first at-bat. So following that double play from Hunt to Inhofer to Reeder, from short second to first. Here's the pitch, that one in front of Elder, and that'll be for ball 1. That was Felton who just grounded that one straight to Hunt. It was easy to make that double play. So here's the second pitch of the at-bat. That one in for ball 2. So starting off again with a 2-0 count with 2 outs. Fredrickson the pitch. That one goes outside for ball 3. So with a 3-0 count, 2 down. Fredrickson the pitch. That one in for strike 1. So Fredrickson gets the first strike of the at-bat. That one's in the zone. And now Fredrickson. Here's the pitch, swings. This one's going to, Inhofer's there to make the catch at second. The throw to first is there. And the ground to second. A great play from Inhofer, the second baseman. So that will do it for the top of the third inning. Now we go to the bottom. And leading off for the Hardhats will be Aiden Roberts, as he led off the game as well and hit an inside the park home run. A great way to get this game rolling. Still a 2-1 game. I don't know why the scoreboard clear there. But we'll take a second, we'll be right back. So Richardson in with his final throw as he still remains on the mound for the Mavericks, with Roberts leading off for the Hardhats. And the dust off home plate from the umpire.
First baseman, number 10, Aiden Roberts.
Roberts. Impressive first hit with the inside the park home run to lead the bottom of the third inning. Here's the pitch. This one swings and misses for strike one as Roberts. Try to get onto that one to put it deep back again. Starts with an 0-1 count. Richardson the pitch. This one down in the dirt. Gets away from Tennis the catcher, so ball one. Ball and a strike. It's about here in the bottom of the third inning. Richardson the pitch. Swings and misses again. Roberts, so 1-2 now. Roberts steps back in the box. On deck, Lars Kiefer, the center fielder for the Hardhats. And now Richardson the pitch. This one in tight. Ball one, or two, excuse me. That one brazed through, almost hitting Roberts. So 2-2 count. Richardson the pitch. Roberts gets a piece of this one. Deep left field. It's gone. Another home run for Aiden Roberts. Home run frenzy for Aiden Roberts. He makes this game 3-1. So 3-1 Roberts to third, and a thumbs up from the Hardhats. And that's back-to-back home runs. The inside the park of the first at-bat, and then the outside to left field. So 3-1 Hardhats from Aiden Roberts. Have yourself a game. So 3-1, bottom of the third. Kiefer back up. He struck out his first at-bat. Aiden Roberts, the bat is hot for him. And now this one, Richardson. Kiefer gets a piece of this one. He's going to foul off. So kicks it to an 0-1 count. Still no outs here in the bottom of the third. Roberts, who led off the game and also led off for the third inning, and he hits home runs in both. So with a 1-1 count, Richardson the pitch, swings and misses as Kiefer for strike two. So Kiefer goes to a 1-2 count, struck out his previous at-bat. Dugout encouraging here because the pitch from Richardson. That one gets away from Tennis again. So ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Kiefer, center fielder. And now Richardson winds and deals. The pitch comes. Kiefer's going to pop this one up. And pitcher calls it, and that's going to be caught. So that's going to put the first out of the game, or excuse me, not of the game, of the inning. And now Wyatt Reeder also struck out his first at-bat.
First baseman Wyatt Reeder.
So that was the first out here at the bottom of the third inning. And Reeder, mentioned earlier, leading the team in batting average at an even .500. And this one also goes through, gets behind the catcher and umpire for ball one. 1-0 count to start Reeder's at bat. 0 for 1. Richardson the pitch coming. That one goes outside for ball two. So Reeder doesn't swing much for his first few pitches. So it goes 2-0 with 1 down following the pop from Kiefer. Here's the pitch. That one is going to go for ball 3. So to a commanding 3-0 strike count for Wyatt Reeder. The bottom of the third inning, a 3-1 game in favor of the Hardhats. Richardson the pitch, and that one's going to go for ball 4. That's fair, and he's going to go in to first. So Reeder, who gets on base, and now this will bring up K. McLeod. He grounded to shortstop his last at-bat, so 0 for 1 as well. So with Reeder at first, Still with one out. Richardson takes that lean back. Reeder took an extra step as well. Richardson pitch. That one's going to go for strike
Number
one.
27, Kane McLeod.
So first pitch of the at-bat goes to a strike. Kyle looks back at manager Kelvin Torvey for the call. Richardson looks back at Reeder at first base too, extending up the lead throw to first. Reeder slides in time. He sticks in safe. So 0 balls, 1 strike for McLeod. Richardson again, the quick look back to first base where Reeder sits at. Then another pickoff attempt, that one in. Reeder stays safe. Off back-to-back pickoff attempts. So McLeod still on an 0-1 count. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Richardson, here's the pitch. That one's in for strike 2. So McLeod goes to 0-2 now with 2 strikes on the big board with 1 down with a runner at first and Reeder. Richardson for the Mavericks. Here's the pitch. That one got a piece of McLeod. That's a hit by pitch. So that puts runners at first and second now.
The DH, Jace Morgan.
And now Morgan, who steps back in, he flew to right field his last time up. So still with 1 down. Runners at first and second. Reeder at second. McLeod at first. And now Richardson with the throw to the DH Morgan. He's going to foul tip this one for strike 1. So 0-1 for Morgan. Hitting 5th in the order. And now Richardson with the pitch. And Morgan's going to pop this, or ground to first. The throw to second, throw back to first isn't in time. So that's going to put runners at first and third.
Right fielder number 23, Carter Johnson.
Now Carter Johnson, and as he grounded to third base his last time up. So now that's going to put 2 outs with runners at the corners at first and third. A time called here for a call from Tennis, the catcher, to Richardson, the pitcher. Now Carter Johnson. Richardson looks back at first where Morgan is. Here's the pitch, and this one, Johnson saw it, got a piece of it. So he fouls it. So 0-1 count for Johnson. Johnson playing at right field today. And now Richardson again looks back at home. Here's the pitch. That one's going to go down low for ball 1. So 1-1 count. And now Johnson. Richardson again looking back at first. Runners on the corners for the Hardhats. With 2 down, here's the pitch. Johnson's going to pop this one up. First baseman and second baseman both there. That's what's going to be caught. So that will do it for the 3rd inning. And Aiden Roberts, 2 home runs on 2 hits. The first was the inside the park home run, and then the home run that went over the left field wall. And the Hardhats, they have a 3-1 lead here. And Frederickson, who will remain on the mound, we'll let him get his warm pitches in, and we'll be right back. So Rowan Frederickson getting his final throw, and the throw from Elder to second. So leading off here in the 4th inning for the Mavericks will be left fielder Rylan Davis. Hit a single his last time up as Elder has an equipment issue. So he needs to go to the dugout for a coach or a player to strap up to help him out. So Rowan Frederickson still remains on the mound here for the Hardhats, here to start this 4th inning.
Left fielder number
Davis
7, Rylan Davis.
in the box. So the first pitch here, the 4th inning, will come from Rowan Frederickson's right arm. And here's the pitch, and this one's gonna be hit to Blaine Hunt. Got the ground, the throw to Reeder, and it gets away from Reeder. And Evans, who is gonna take off to second, that gets by. So they're gonna get a runner on first. So another base hit for Evans, back-to-back for him. So this will lead Remington Howard, the right fielder, up next for the Hardhats.
Number 18, Remington Howard,
who was walked at his first at-bat. And Frederiksen will look back at first, where Davis sits. Frederiksen the pitch, that one's gonna go in for strike one. So it's an 0-1 count to start this at-bat, second at-bat here of the 4th inning. Frederiksen again takes that peek over the shoulder at first. That ball just escaped from Wyatt Reeder, and the pick off the first. Reeder in safe is Davis. And Howard, the right fielder, steps back in the box to the 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Got a piece of it, fouls off towards the 22 dugout. So it goes to an 0-2 count. They have to get the foul ball out of play. So 0 balls, 2 strikes for Howard. In at bat for the Mavericks. 2 strikes for Frederickson. Can they get a third here? Runner at first for the Mavericks. Throw to first. Reeder in safe. Goes Davis. So 0 outs here at the top of the 4th inning on an 0-2 count for Frederickson. Here's the pitch. Swings. This one's going to go to left field, and this one's going to be in fair. So McLeod's under it, takes a spill, and a runner rounding at third. He's going to slide in safe, so that's going to be a double for Howard.
number 4, Bryce Ostrom.
So Bryce Ostrom, who was hit by pitch, his first at-bat. The center fielder for the Mavericks. And Reeder backing up at first base. Still with 0 outs. Here in this 4th inning, runners at second and third for the Mavericks. The first pitch is in for strike one. So an 0-1 count to start off. Ostrom back in the box. Ferguson looking straight at third. Here's the pitch, swings and misses for strike two. That one was upstairs. So 0 balls, 2 strikes with no outs. With runners on second and third for the Mavericks. Frederickson back and forth delivers the pitch, and this one will go for ball. So to a 1-2 count, which started out at 0 balls, 2 strikes. So 1-2, Frederickson stares down Ostrom. Look back to third, where Davis is. Here's the pitch, swings and misses, strikes him out. So that's going to be
Number
the
8,
second
DH,
strikeout
Stellan Ridley.
for Rowan Frederickson. So that puts the first out on the board here in this 4th inning. And now Stellan Ridley, the DH, who struck out, which gave Frederickson his first strikeout of the game. Here's the first pitch, swings and misses for strike 1. So they still have runners at second and third with an 0-1 count. Frederickson gets the call from Elder behind the plate. Here's the pitch. This one goes inside, but that's first strike 2. So to an 0-2 count. Now one called strike with 1 down. Frederickson looking back and forth at home and third. Here's the pitch, swings and misses, back-to-back strikeouts for Stellan Ridley and Rowan Frederickson. His second of the inning.
Carter Taylor.
And now back to the top of the order for the Mavericks. Carter Taylor hit by pitch his first at bat and then walked his second. So with 2 down now, Frederickson the pitch. This one will go in for a strike. Strikes in a row there for Frederickson on the mound for the Hardhats. So the 0-1 count with 2 outs now, runners at second and third. Here's the pitch for Frederickson, the curve, that one for ball 1. So that goes from the strike streak. So to 1-1. Frederickson looking back at third. Here's the pitch. Swings. This one's going to foul right. So it puts the count to 1-2 with 2 down now. Frederickson potentially 1 pitch away. So putting this top of the 4th inning away. And now Frederickson, another stare down, gets the call from Elder. On the 1-2 count with 2 outs, here's the throw. Now one up high, that's going to be for ball 2. So it evens the count to 2s. Frederickson gets the call from Elder. Looking back at the Davis, who's at third for the Mavericks. Here's the pitch, swings, third ball drop. Elder picks up, and the throw to first. That's going to do it for the top of the 4th inning. Hardhats still hold on to that 3-1 lead. And 3 strikeouts. In that inning for Rowan Frederickson. Making it 4 on the day for the Hardhats. And we'll take a quick second. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 4th.
Radio out of Rapid or Missoula?
Rapid.
Nice. You guys come up this morning, I assume?
Yep, left at 8:30 a.m. We got here about 3 o'clock. And we're back here to start the bottom of the 4th inning. Richardson still on the mound as well for the Missoula Mavericks. And then leading off for the Hardhats will be Josh Elder. He walked at his first at-bat, and he also brought in for a run. Richardson getting in his final few pitches. Hardhats still holding on to that 3-1 lead. So the throw to second. And now Elder steps in the box.
Catcher number 21, Josh Elder.
We said earlier, who walked his first at-bat and his only at-bat so far. Was also driven in for a run. So Richardson with the pitch. This one's going to go for ball. So starts to a 1-0 count. Richardson with the second pitch. This one's going to go in for strike. So 1-1 puts it even. Bottom of the fourth inning, Hardhats with 3 hits to 2 errors. And here's this one down in the dirt. That one escapes from the catcher, so that's going to be for ball 2. And we get a little mound meet here between Tennis and Richardson. They discuss some things. So with Eller with the count to two balls and a strike. So with 2 balls, 1 strike, Richardson still on the mound with Elder in the box. Here's the pitch. That one's in for strike 2. So with 2 balls, 2 strikes, Elder, the catcher, has 1 home run this season. Here's the pitch, and got him. So strikes out Elder.
Second baseman, number 12, Dawson Inhofer.
So Inhofer hit the RBI double his last at-bat, which that was the run credited to Josh Elder. So the first one, that went down low. So with 1 out, that'll be for strike 1. So they go to an 0-1 count for Inhofer. Richardson the pitch. That one in for strike 2. So 0 balls, 2 strikes for Inhofer. Second base, made a great field play to tuck away an inning. Here comes the pitch from Richardson. That one on a dropper. That one's going to go for ball 1. So to a 1-2 count. Bottom of the 4th inning, Hardhats with a 3-1 lead with 1 out. Richardson the pitch. That one goes outside for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes for Inhofer. Richardson, another pitch. This one's hit. This one's going to drop into center field. That's going to be a base hit for Dawson Inhofer. Hit a double as first and now a single. Still with 1
Number 11,
out.
shortstop Blaine Hunt.
So the shortstop, Hunt, who popped too short last at-bat. Again, back to the bottom of the order. And now Richardson takes the peek over at first. Throw to first on the pickoff attempt. Inhofer is in safe. So still no pitch here. The count to Blaine Hunt. Now Richardson again looking back at first. He threw that last pitch to the pickoff attempt. Here's the first one. That's going to be a bunt from Hunt. And that one's going to drop. The throw to first is out. So that's going to be the second out.
Roberts.
That will put Inhofer from first to second. And now back to Aiden Roberts. 2 for 2, 2 home runs. 2 down. Richardson looks back at second where Inhofer is now. Here's the pitch. This one's going to go in for strike 1. So 0-1 to start for Roberts. Back to the top of the order. Looking back is Richardson. No one's there at second. Here's the pitch. That one's going to go down low for ball 2. Or excuse me, ball 1. So to a 1-1 count. Richardson gives the nod. Likes the pitch. Here it comes. Swing and a miss from Roberts. So that'll be for strike 2. So to 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. And now Roberts with a runner at second. Richardson delivers the pitch. Roberts goes, or excuse me, Inhofer, so that's going to be a stolen base. So this puts the count to 2-2. So now with a runner at third, on the stolen base from Inhofer. Here's the pitch and a swing. Roberts gets a piece of it off the fence. So the count still remains at 2-2. That one also dropped into the post 22 dugout. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with Roberts at bat. Richardson the pitch, it comes. This one's gonna get hit. This one, shortstop's on her backtracking. It's gonna drop. That's gonna bring in a run. Aiden Roberts continues again to stay hot, and he's gonna get an RBI single. So that's gonna bring in Inhofer. And now Kiefer,
Center fielder Lars Kiefer,
who popped last time. And now with Aiden Roberts, who's at first, but we're going to have a time here as the Missoula manager will come out. Aiden Roberts, 3 for 3, hit an inside the park home run his first at bat. Home run over the left field wall his second, and the RBI single his last time. So Andrew Richards will be done here in the bottom of the 4th inning through 3 strikeouts. And let's see who they're going to throw in here. I believe it'll be right fielder Remington Howard. So they'll discuss some things. Kiefer, who's up next for the Hardhats with Robert still on first. So it's going to be number 7, Rylan Davis, will be the pitcher.
now pitching for the Mavs, number 7, Rylan Davis.
So he'll get his warm-up throws. Still with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning, a 4-1 lead now for the Hardhats. Aiden Roberts still adding to his RBI total. 3 for 3 today, 2 home runs and an RBI single. And Kiefer, we mentioned 0 for 2, struck out his first at-bat, and then he popped his last at-bat. So getting his final few pitches in is Davis. As they, out of the middle of the 4th inning, goes Andrew Richardson, who threw 3 strikeouts. Had a good start. The gas left the tank here in this 4th inning, so one more pitch he signals for the right arm. And now Kiefer, who will step in the box. So with 2 down, with a runner at first in Aiden Roberts. Kiefer, the center fielder. And now the first pitch for Davis, and Roberts takes off from first. The throw to second, he's in safe. Just keep adding to the stat total for Aiden Roberts. He gets a stolen base there. That's his 6th stolen base of the season. So he leads off of second. Here comes the pitch, and we'll go for ball 2. Didn't update it. So 2-0 count now. Still with 2 outs from Roberts. The stolen base from first to second. Here's the pitch from Davis. Roberts goes to third. That's going to be another one. Make it 7. So Roberts, 2 stolen bases. He's at third now to a 3-0 count for Kiefer. Davis the pitch. Kiefer, that one's going to go up high. That will walk Kiefer. So we reset that Wyatt Reeder Back of the box.
Number 18,
1 for 2.
first baseman Wyatt Reeder.
Struck out his first at-bat, and then previous at-bat hit a single. So with Roberts at third and now Kiefer at first, and a time called gives the signal to Davis, the pitcher, who just threw at his first at-bat in Kiefer, 4 pitches with 4 balls. Now Reeder, who steps in the box. Davis, the first one to Reeder. This one's going to go up high for ball 1. So to a 1-0 count and a 4-1 lead for the Hardhats here in the bottom of the 4th inning. They managed to get 1 run in each inning so far. And a hit from Reeder. This one's going to go left field. It's going back. Wyatt Reeder all the way to the wall, and it's going to be there. So they bring in one Roberts. Rounding third comes Kiefer, and that's going to be a triple, a 2 RBI triple for Wyatt Reeder. So 2 RBI triple from Wyatt Reeder.
Kane McLeod.
So this makes this game 6-1. Still with 2 outs, and now Kane McLeod, who was hit by pitch. His last at-bat, this one's in. That's going to go for strike 1 to McLeod to start this one off. So 0 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the next one, McLeod. This one's going to squeeze in through. That's going to be an RBI single. Reeder will score 7-1 Hardhats. So that will put it with McLeod now at first, and then now Morgan, the DH, hit a single his last time up, 1 for 2 today. Still with 2 outs on the board. Davis with the pitch. That one's in for strike 1.
Number 22, Jace Morgan.
McLeod, who leads off first, and he's going to take off. There's the pitch. That's going to be in for strike 2. And a stolen base for McLeod. So 0-2 count. McLeod now at second base. As Davis talking with his first baseman, Easton Reimers. So 0-2 count for Morgan. With McLeod off second. Here's the pitch. That one up high for ball 1. So to a 1-2 count. Davis on the mound now here in the middle of the 4th inning is when he came in. Here's the pitch. And the dropper. And that's going to be for ball 2. So puts the count to 2-2 with 2 outs. Runner at second for the Hardhats. Davis looks back at second. McLeod will take off. That one down in the dirt. That's going to be another stolen base for McLeod. So we go to full count. So McLeod at third now in a 7-1 game. Here, the first game of the doubleheader in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch from Davis. That one down to the dirt will walk Morgan. So with runners on the corners
Right fielder
yet again.
number 23, Carter Johnson.
And now Carter Johnson. So he grounded to third his first at-bat, and we'll have a time here. Another signal given from Tennis, the catcher, to Davis, the pitcher. So the first pitch to at-bat for Johnson, that went down in the dirt for ball 1. Johnson starts 1-0. Davis with the pitch, it comes. This one's going to go in. That'll be for ball 2. Johnson, 2 balls, 0 strikes. With McLeod on third base. With Morgan on first. Morgan will take off to second. Johnson's going to hit this one. That one's going to go to short. And that's going to be a base hit, and that's going to bring in a run. So 8-1 Hardhats. So an RBI single from Carter Johnson, which snuck through between
Catcher
third
number
and short.
21, Josh Elder.
So the catcher, Elder, up, struck out his last at-bat. 8-1 now in the bottom of the fourth inning. Still with 2 outs. That one's in for strike. So 0-1. Start this count off for the catcher, for the Hardhats. Pitch comes. This one's hit. Elder. This one's going to drop into right field. It's going to get him squeezed by the wall. They're going to bring in 1 run. On second, rounding third's Johnson. He's going to come in home. That's a 2 RBI double from Elder. So now 10-1 Hardhats. Still in the bottom of the fourth. And now Dawson Inhofer.
Number 12, Dawson Inhofer.
So Elder off second with Inhofer, who hit a single his last at-bat, also had a stolen base and was driven in for a run, and he's going to hit this one into center field. This one's going back to the wall, and it's caught. So that will do it for the bottom of the fourth inning. The Hardhats put an impressive 7 runs in the bottom of the fourth to make it a 10-1 score. Reset the board. And we'll take a quick second
Especially
for
when
Rowan
we're not ready
Frederickson to get his
for it.
warm pitches. We'll be right back.
Go from 50 to 80.
Then it'll be 50 again on Tuesday.
Here. Who's here?
Seniors going to go on Wednesday. Be the 6th time we've seen seniors.
Is that here too, or is that dealer?
That's it's a makeup, so
I might be back Wednesday. I'll be out of town Tuesday. Who are you with?
Hardy both times.
I got away from him with 2 outs.
We're back to kick off this 5th inning between the Post 22 Hardhats and the Missoula Mavericks. 10-1 is the score here to start this top of the 5th inning. And leading off for the Mavericks will be Caden Tennis, their catcher, who struck out his last at-bat. Rowan Frederickson still on the mound for the Hardhats. 4 innings pitched for Frederickson thus far with 4 strikeouts.
Catcher number 5, Caden Tennis.
So Tennis steps in the box, the right-handed batter to the right-handed pitcher. And Elder gets the mask on, and thumbs up. We're good to go for Frederickson to give the first pitch here, the 5th inning. Frederickson on the deal. Here's the pitch. That one in for strike 1. So to an 0-1 count to start this one off for Frederickson in the 5th inning. Following the strike, this one's hit. This one's going to be in for the second base. That's caught, and the throw to Reeder at first is caught for out number 1.
Shortstop
that will
number
lead
10, Coulter Nicolaarson.
So Coulter Nicolaarson, the shortstop, walked his first at-bat and then hit a single his previous at-bat. So with 1 out, following the ground to Dawson Inhofer, the second baseman, Frederickson the pitch. That one's going to be down in the dirt. Elder got behind it, but that's going to be for the first ball to start this at-bat. So 1-0. Frederickson gets the call from Elder. with the shortstop in for Missoula at bat. Here's the pitch. This one's going to get hit. Roberts, the third baseman, jumped on the catch. That one's going to be caught. What a play by Aiden Roberts. That's going to be down for out 2. So
Number 9, third baseman, Owen Felton.
So Owen Felton, who was grounded to second and shortstop in the last at-bat, which was grounded to Hunt to make the double play. So with 2 outs, first pitch, that one's going to go outside for ball 1. For Felton, the third baseman for the Mavericks. Frederiksen takes a deep breath. Here's the pitch. That one's in for ball 2. So it goes to a 2-0 count with 2 outs. 81 total pitches thrown in this game here to start this 5th inning. And a swing, this one's going to hook foul. So it puts the count to 2-1. That one to the left side towards the Missoula dugout. Currently 6:30 here. Game time started an hour and a half ago. Game 1 of the doubleheader in the 4-game series. Doubleheader today, doubleheader tomorrow. Frederiksen the pitch. That one got a clip of Felton, so a hit by pitch. So it's a runner on base for Missoula.
First baseman, Easton Reimers.
So Reimers walked his first at-bat and then grounded to second his previous at-bat. And the dust off home plate umpire. So the runner at first for Missoula with 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Frederiksen takes a look over that left shoulder, back at first. Throw to first, Reeder catches, tags, safe on that pickoff attempt. Still no pitch here at the at-bat for Easton Reimers, the first baseman for the Mavericks. Frederiksen the pitch. This one's going to be in for strike 1. So the first pitch of the at-bat goes for strike. Great way to start the count and the at-bat on a strike. Good sign. Frederiksen with the pitch on the 0-1 count. This one's going to be hit. This one's going to go into center field. Kiefer calls for it. And this one is caught by Kiefer. So 1, 2, 3. That will do it for the top of the 5th inning. We'll take another second. We'll be back for the bottom of the 5th. So a new pitcher on the mound for Missoula will be number 9, Owen Felton. Was playing third base a little bit ago. And now, so he will come in to relieve Ryland Davis, who came in the middle of the 4th inning where the Hardhats managed to put 7 runs in that 4th inning. So it'll be Blaine Hunt who will lead off here in the bottom of the 5th, the shortstop. Last time he bunted, it was thrown out. So the final pitch there, ready to go. Hunt to step in the box. In the bottom of the 5th inning, 10-1 is the score in favor of the Hardhats, as the Hardhats have 9 hits to Missoula's 1, but the Hardhats have 2
Shortstop,
errors,
number
and
11,
Missoula has an
Blaine
egg
Hunt.
on the board. So Blaine Hunt to get this bottom of the 5th started. And the first pitch coming from Felton. That one's going to go in for ball. So starts to a 1-0 count. So 1 ball, 0 strikes. Here's the pitch. That one goes up high. That will be for ball 2. Hunt stays patient. Steps back in the box to the 10-1 lead. Felton delivers this pitch. That one right down the middle for strike 1. So 2-1 is the count. Back of the box comes Hunt. Felton delivers the pitch. That one got him again. The hit by pitch Merchant strikes again. So Hunt
Number
so he'll
10,
take first gladly.
third baseman, Aiden Roberts.
Now Aiden Roberts, who is having a day. 2 home runs and an RBI single with 2 stolen bases and a run. Batting for his 4th time here in the game 1 of the doubleheader. This one's going to go down in the dirt. That'll be for ball 1. So with Blaine Hunt following that hit by pitch, he goes to first, and now Roberts, we're back to the top of the order. And Felton, who looks over the shoulder where Hunt tries to lead off. Here's the pitch. That one down low again. That'll be for ball 2. So 2-0 count. Here's the pitch again. This one's going to be popped up for Roberts. This one's going to go to the right field. He's on right. He's going back a little bit. That'll be caught. So Roberts, who pops to right. And that'll be for the first out of the game. Or excuse me, inning. I don't know why I keep saying that.
Center fielder, Lars Kiefer.
So Kiefer, who got walked, was also driven in for a run. So with 1 out, Hunt still on first for the Hardhats. Here comes the pitch. That one will go in for strike. So it starts on the 0-1 count for Kiefer. I believe Kiefer also started in an 0-1 count and then got walked. His last at-bat. He also hit in the 4th inning, in that 4th inning frenzy they had. So that one's going to go for ball 1. And the breeze starting to pick up a little bit, feeling nice as it was scorching hot earlier, about 85 degrees, and the wind's starting to play a nice cool factor. So to a 1-1 count. This one's hit to short for 1. The throw to second to first is there in time, so a double play will do it for the 5th inning. And we will take another second. We'll be right back. right, welcome back as we get ready to set this 6th inning off. We have a new pitcher on the mound for the Hardhats. It's number 23, Carter Johnson. As he comes in, and Rowan Frederickson comes out after the 5th inning. Frederickson, who threw for 4 strikeouts with 5 innings pitched to get this 6th inning rolling. 10-1, still the lead.
Now hitting number 7, Ryland Davis.
And Ryland Davis, who will lead off. He has 2 singles today. Johnson for his first pitch here of the series. He gives the nod. Johnson, it comes. This one's hit. This one's going to foul off to the right side. That was so starts on a 0-1 count. So 0 balls, 1 strike for Johnson with his first pitch. That one's going to go down low for ball 1. So it goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 3rd. This one swings, another foul. So it goes to 1-2. As Ryland Davis, left fielder, also had a short stint for pitching. So to a ball and 2 strikes, Johnson winds up, delivers, swings and misses for a strikeout. And there you go. So a strikeout. First at batter.
Center
He
fielder
throws a
number
strike.
18, Remington
Throws a
Howard.
K. And now swings and misses for strike 1. Was Remington Howard, the right fielder, hit a double his last time up. So Johnson again starts on an 0-1 count with 1 out. Here's the pitch. That one goes down in the dirt for ball 1. Elder now 1 out in front of him, but with no runners on the bases. Popped up pretty quick and got it. So Johnson delivers this one, swings. This one's going to go to center field. Kiefer running right back onto it. Now it's going to be caught to the pop to right. So that's 2 down. And now let's lead Bryce Ostrom. He struck out his last at-bat.
Number 4, Bryce Ostrom.
So with 2 outs, the Carter Johnson with 2 strikeouts. This one's going to be hit. This one was right behind me for a strike off a foul. So to an 0-1 count with 2 outs, Johnson the pitch. Swings and misses for strike 2. Johnson, who comes into this 6th inning, is throwing heat and strikes with 2 strikeouts, looking for a 3rd here on an 0-2 count with 2 outs. Carter Johnson, the pitch coming, swings and misses. 1-2-3. Carter Johnson strikes out. Now we'll do it for the top of the 6th inning. Nicknamed Tater Johnson comes in, throws 3 strikeouts, and he gets things rolling. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Still a 10-1 lead for the Hardhats. And Wyatt Reeder, who is going to hit off here in the 6th inning, as Kiefer, who grounded into that double play, which put it away for that bottom of the 5th inning. And when you look at Reeder hitting today, last at bat he had a 2 RBI triple, which was huge. And then he was also brought in for a run from McLeod.
It's not quite a pearl anymore, but it's close. Foul ball.
Thank you.
That was good.
You as well. Thank you. So, still on the mound for the Missoula Mavericks will be Owen Felton, who came in throwing pitches at the 5th inning. And he will remain in. Reeder also getting some practice swings in. So they're already set to go. Reeder steps in the box.
Number 18, Wyatt Reeder.
So we get ready for the bottom of the 6th inning, a 10-1 lead still for the Hardhats. And Reeder hit a triple his last time up. Now Felton for the first one in the bottom of the 6th. Here it comes. That one, that one was a curve. Goes in for strike one. So it's an 0-1 count. Felton inhales. Here's the pitch. Swings. This one's going to go into left. Says back to it. This one's high up in the air. Caught. So that'll be for the first out. Reeder pops to left field. And now this will lead up Kane McLeod. And then
Number
McLeod,
27, left fielder, Kane McLeod.
who had an RBI single and also had 2 stolen bases his last at bat. So with 1 out, the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's the pitch. That one will go for ball 1. With 1 down, 1 ball, 0 strikes for McLeod. Here's the pitch. That one goes in for strike 1. So 1-1. Evens are out. Now Felton gets the call from behind the plate. Stare match with McLeod. Here's the pitch. It comes. That one gets away from tennis. So that's going to be for ball 2. So to a 2-1 count. Jace Morgan goes to collect that foul ball. Felton on the mound. Here's the pitch. That went down low for ball 3. So 3 balls and a strike. This at bat for Kane McLeod. McLeod looks back. Here's the pitch. It comes. This one got a clip on the backside of McLeod, so that's a hit by pitch. That's his second hit by pitch of the game. So Jace Morgan.
DH, number 22, Jace Morgan.
So Morgan will come in. He was walked his last time up, and he was brought in for a run as well. So with McLeod on first, here's the first pitch. That went down low. That'll be for ball 1. The Carolina Hurricanes in the NHL playoffs defeat the Washington Capitals 4-0 to take a 2-1 series lead. I'm a big Capitals fan, so I'm a little upset by that. So to a 1-0 count, here's the pitch. That one dropped in. That would be for ball 2. So 2-0 for Morgan at the at-bat with McLeod on first. Felton pitching. And here's the pitch. It comes. This one goes outside. That'll be for ball 3. So to a 3-0 count with 1 out. Morgan steps back in the box. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, still 10-1 lead for the Hardhats over the Missoula Mavericks. Here's the pitch. This one down low, so that will walk. Jace Morgan, back-to-back walks for him. And now Carter Johnson, who came in a pitch through 3 strikeouts. And Johnson, who had an RBI single.
Number 23, Carter Johnson.
His last at-bat, so with runners at first and second with only 1 down. This sets Johnson up quite well. And now Felton delivers this pitch. This one down in the dirt. That'll be for ball 1. Starts off the count that way. Tater Johnson to the 1-0 count with runners on first and second for the Hardhats. Morgan at first and McLeod at second. Here's the pitch for Felton. That one goes outside for ball 2. So to the 2-0 count for Carter Johnson. Felton with the pitch. This one down low. Johnson gets this one. This one going deep left field. Home run! So a 3-run homer for Carter Johnson. And the Hardhats keep the pound coming. The 3-run slam from Carter Johnson. First home run of the year for him, and the Hardhats have a 13-1 lead. So that's going to do it for this first game. A 13-1 victory for the Post 22 Hardhats in game one of the doubleheader. And they advance, they continue to stay undefeated. And what a game it was, full of home runs from Aiden Roberts, who hit an inside the park home run. He hit a home run to the left field, over the wall, hit an RBI single. I mean, he had himself a day. Reeder hit a 2 RBI triple. That was big for him. And then we had a lot of RBIs. And then Carter Johnson, you just saw there, with a 3-run home run to finish that one off. Pitching, Roman Fredrickson, who had the starting. And then coming in was Carter Johnson. And what a way to finish out for him. He came in that 5th inning, threw 3 strikeouts, and then goes after, hits a ball, hits a 3-run homer. So it must just be the 3 in the name. So that will do it for this live. We'll start the next one. And we'll get game 2 of the doubleheader underway. This is Wyatt Simmons signing off for game 1 of this doubleheader.